Diary of a Sociopathic Mother-in-Law Next Door entry. Today's date is Friday the 22nd of August 2025. Today is actually my birthday, the boogeyman's birthday. It's not something I really celebrate, having been abandoned at birth. Not really much of a celebratory occasion. Not that I would celebrate my birthday anyway, because it's just another pagan ritual. But it's nice to have recognition of your own little family in your own home. 50 years on the planet. So, ended the last entry by explaining my rationale behind my conclusion that the husk hates her daughter. So what's happened in the last week? Husk just ignores me if she sees us on the drive, and vice versa. The beacon has said, for all this is not nice, this whole avoidance and not speaking to her own mother, that she's actually felt better these last few weeks than she has for a long time. That's how sad it is. This is better than what it was. Ignoring your own mother. On Sunday, just gone, it was a lovely sunny day, and the beacon and I were in the garden pruning an apple tree and picking apples, because we're going to have our first attempt at making cider, our own cider. So we're in the garden all day, pruning, doing a bit of gardening and picking apples. And the apple tree is literally right outside the door to the lair. It's about 10 feet away. So the husk, she's been away all weekend at the ATM, and we hear her come up the drive on the gravel, and she literally just walks in her house and completely ignores both of us. She hasn't even got a word to say to her own daughter. And you know, her excuse will be, well, she's not speaking to us, she's not replying to me messages. I said, yeah, but if you're so desperate to fix this, you would grab any opportunity to speak to your daughter. You live on the same property. It's just so egotistical. It lives in the reptilian mind. So anyway, she's only in the house for 10 minutes and she walks out, ignores her again. So that was Sunday. On Wednesday evening, the beacon gets another text, yet again another text. She can't speak to her when she's right in front of her, but she'll text her. On Wednesday night, this text says, when am I going to be able to speak to you? Please, can I have some of your precious time? Which, that sounds patronising. Some of your precious time. I've got some things to tell you. Believe it or not, I really, really do love you. So, what are these things? Now, the beacon didn't tell me this at the time. It's only Friday now, so this was only 2 days ago. She didn't want to tell me because she's at the point where she doesn't want me to get, annoyed. She doesn't want it to trigger us. And I've said to her since that it doesn't trigger us anymore, because I haven't got an emotional response to it anymore. Because obviously deep down I know that you're just wasting valuable energy and emotions on a dead husk. So things like that, they just don't trigger us anymore. I don't have an emotional response. So anyway, this text. So what are these things? And why is she adamant to say, believe it or not, I love you? Like, why is she happy for her to believe not? Well, why would you put that? And why is she even saying that? But she's saying it because I've told the husk, you don't love her. And that's obviously, she knows that I've probably said that, or she thinks I've probably said that to the beacon. The beacon doesn't need, this is what the husk needs to get a wrap her head round, an empty skull. The beacon does not require me to tell her whether or not her own mother loves her. She knows whether or not her own mother loves her based on how she treats her. And this is what the beacon will never understand, because she's completely dead and empty. Thank you. She thinks that I'm the wedge in between them. No, I'm the one trying to fix it, because I can see that you're destroying your relationship, and I don't want the beacon to lose her mother, and that's it. But anyway, why does she feel the need to put that in, believe it or not? It's a weird thing. It's like, that's something you say when it's not true. That's what I would, if something's true, I do love you. I do love you. Please, please, believe it. I love you. I'll show you in the future. You don't just say, believe it or not, I love you. Believe it or not, I love you. It's so empty and cold, because it comes from the reptilian brain. No emotion. So anyway, she also says in the text, I've tried knocking on 2 occasions but no answer. And I was like, when she told us, I was like, that's absolute BS. That's a lie. So when were these occasions? So for the last 3 months, I've been extendedly working from home. Haven't been in the office. I've had permission to work from home for an extended period. I've had deliveries, parcels, all sorts. Never miss a knock at the door. We've got a doorbell, but you never miss a knock at the door. Plus, what time of day would this have been, Husk? Because obviously Beacon works pretty much 8 till 6, so it's on an evening. Well, we don't miss knocks at the door in the evening. And was it a weekend? Well, if we were out, the car wouldn't be there. So are you choosing to do it when the car's not there? One way or another, I just don't believe her. I don't believe that she's made a proper attempt like that. Plus, she really expects us to believe that she's knocked on the door twice. She doesn't know who's going to answer, whether it's going to be me or the Beacon. And she doesn't know what the environment is. She doesn't know if we're busy and all these things. Now, that's fine. Like, you still should be knocking on the door. You're this desperate. Your relationship with your daughter is going down the pan. You just knock on the door. Right. So she's knocked on the door. She doesn't know what the environment is. She doesn't know who's going to answer it. And she doesn't know what we're going to be doing. Right. So you're telling me, Husk, that you've put yourself in that position of the unknown, and that you've got a backbone to deal with whatever and whoever answers the door and whatever the circumstances are. You're just going to do it, have a backbone and do the right thing. Knock on the door. Yet you can't speak to your own daughter when she's 10 feet in front of you. Yeah, you expect us to believe that? Absolute BS. You're a liar. Because you can't even speak to her face to face. That was your opportunity. You had two opportunities. One when you came in the house, and then you could have gathered your thoughts and thought, right, just how am I going to address this? And then when you come out the house, that's your second opportunity. You didn't take either. You expect me to believe that you've knocked on the door twice. Oh, now, a pure coincidence. Nobody answered. And why would nobody answer? Well, because we're scared. No. The only reason, if you've knocked on that door, the only possible reason is that we haven't heard or that we're not in. And I don't believe we haven't heard, because we always hear knocks at the door. Total idiot. And if we're not in, he must have known we weren't in, because the car wouldn't have been there. So anyway, I just don't believe her. It doesn't add up. So that text came on Wednesday night. And obviously the Beacon's thinking, what's she got to tell us? So the next morning, just before she's about to get out of the car and go into the office, the Beacon, she texts her. She can't take her phone into work, so she's kind of texting her, and then she knows she'll not get distracted through work by the husk texting back. So she's obviously thinking, God, I'm going to have to respond to one of her messages. I've just been ignoring them. But she's not ignoring them. She's trying to deal with her own thoughts and her own emotions. That's not ignoring. She's not ready to deal with her. So anyway, she texts her just before she's about going to work. She says, I just don't think at this moment in time I'm really ready to talk to you. Actually, let me make a correction. The original text didn't say, I've got some things to tell you and can I have some of your precious time. They just said, please let us know where we can talk, believe it or not. I really love you. That's all that was in it. So please forgive me for that error. The Beacon texts back and said, so she hasn't said she's got things to say at this point, things to tell her. So the Beacon texts back in response to that, the husk again, please can you let us know when we can speak? I really need to speak to you. Believe it or not, I really love you. Beacon text back is, I'm really not sure I'm ready to speak to you. I'm very upset and angry. And that's all she could bring herself to send. And to be honest, over the weeks, that's the only thing the Beacon has said to us, that they're the only thoughts she's got. And so that was 8:01. At 8:03, the husk comes back, so there's like an instant response. Please, I really, can you spare us some of your precious time? I've got things I need to tell you. That was when that bit came. So that was 8:02 or 8:03. Immediate response. So she's desperate to speak to her for something, and it's not to apologise. She had things to tell you. If you wanted to apologise, it would be, I really need to apologise. I really need to say something. I really need to speak to you. I just need to speak to you. I've got something to... Well, you would say I've got something to tell you, but it's just things to tell you. It's odd to me. She's not wanting to apologise. And I think she also says in that one, I don't want to go over old ground, I've just got things to tell you. Right, so she doesn't want to go over old ground, then it must be something new. I think that's a fair assumption. So that was at 3 minutes past 8. Bear in mind, the beacon is now in the office, her phone's in the car. So she doesn't pick this up until, 6 o'clock when she comes out. So at 8:03, that was the response. At 8:06, 3 minutes later, she sends a follow-up response, which is, I'm hurt and angry too. And it's like, me and the beacon, I just started laughing. It's like, she sent that immediate text, please give us some of your time. And then she was then stewing for 3, 4, 5 minutes, stewing over what the beacon said, I'm hurt and angry. And that's triggering her. What it should be is, she should have empathy, and she should have compassion for her daughter. Remember, this is her daughter, but it's not. It's, I'm that too. She has to have what she has. She has to steal it from her. She has to she can't give her any satisfaction. She has to mirror and mimic, I'm that too. But she couldn't help herself. She couldn't help herself with that follow-up. You don't need to say that. What good is it? What, to make your daughter feel guilty? Oh God, I can't even have my own feelings and all the emotions without my mother making us feel guilty about them. Yeah, because that's how you brought her up. That's how you abused her, because you're sick. But we're just laughing at it now because it doesn't impact us in the way it used to. Just laughing, literally laughing out loud at how pathetic she is. But I'm equally interested in just the psychology. Like that 5 minutes of stewing. You couldn't help yourself, could you? You had to send it, the impulse, send. You have to send it. It's like, what do you expect? What's she expecting? Like, to have this out over text? She wants it out over text. Because that's the way she is. But anyway, just laughing, it's just so sad. So where was I? This was Thursday morning when the beacon responded, Thursday evening when she gets the response. So that was last night after work. So I want to make sure there's nothing else I want to say about that behaviour. I think she can't help herself. She can't. If that's how she feels, why did she not say that? She's just mimicking. And can have some of your precious time. It sounds very patronising. It makes it sound like the beginner's just. This is how she's always made her feel. Like she's just swanning around, got no time for her. Like it makes her feel like she's not putting her mother up the pecking order as high as what she should be in terms of all of her other trivial things in her life. That's the way it makes her feel. But she uses these words like precious, like she probably thinks that she's using that in a kind way. But she uses words she might understand the definition of a word, but she doesn't have the mental capacity to look at a sentence and just feel how it comes over, the tone and how it'll land. She hasn't got that ability. So if you're trying to argue with her about this, she'll just say, well, precious, I'm trying to be nice. I know our time's precious. But you would never be able to say, but think of the tone, think of how it lands and have empathy. That's the sort of stuff, we get taught. That's how what people get taught in the workplace. Always think of your tone, because everything's done by email. A lot of people don't understand that words, even when they're written down, have tone. So anyway, and it's how they go together. It's how the words join together that give them tone and feeling. So anyway, patronising. But she's desperate to tell her something. So we get up this morning, and this is when the beacon told us about these messages, and we just started laughing. But what triggered her to tell me this morning on my birthday, while we were lying in bed with a cup of coffee, was we were lying in bed on Rightmove. I'll not go into the reasons why we're on Rightmove, doesn't matter. But we were nebbing at houses in our own village. Just out of curiosity, being nosy really. Lo and behold, the ATM's house is up for sale. What amazing timing that she breaks her radio silence with the husk, and the husk discloses that she's got some things that she needs to tell her. Is one of those things. The ATM's house is up for sale, and I'm going to ship in with them. I'm going to shack up with them. Is that one of the things? Because she'll know that it's not going to look good if the beacon finds this out through the grapevine, whether that's through finding out by seeing the for sale sign, seeing it on Rightmove, which is what she's done, or even hearing it through the grapevine, because news spreads quick. And as soon as people see for sale sign and sees house on Rightmove, when they're in the little squalor of a pub in the grotto, down the grotto, everybody will be saying, "Hey, you're moving. Oh, you're moving in together." And they'll tell them the truth. I mean, what lie could they give? But anyway, and that's going to get back to us. That's what she's desperate to tell her. I hope. This is the best birthday present. If this is true, if this is what's going on, this is the best birthday present, 50th birthday present I could possibly wish for. But the timing is it's bizarre. Literally the day before, or a couple of days before, the day before, she discloses that she's got something or some things she needs to tell her. And then the next day, we find this out through pure chance, if you believe in coincidence. Not personally, I don't. Synchronicities. So we've put two and two together, and hopefully we've made four. The ATM has always expressed a desire, he certainly has since we've known him, to one day move back to the neighbouring village. It's about 2 miles away, because that's where he's born and bred. And he has got quite a big house, and decent sized garden. So it's that age, downsize and maybe go back to where you feel is your roots. So he's always expressed that. So it doesn't surprise me that he's willing to put the house on the market. And he's always expressed right from the get-go, even when things in the early stages of the whirlwind, he's always expressed a desire for her to move in with him. And she's always put blockers in the way. Oh, yeah, he hasn't got a bath. He hasn't got a bath. That's a reason not to move in with someone you allegedly love, because I haven't got a bath. So he went bathroom shopping. And these are... She doesn't want to move in with him because she doesn't love him. It's not about love, it's about status. She might get some companionship from him. I'm not denying that, but it's not love for her, it's status. She loves what he gives her in terms of status, holidays, lifestyle, being known and liked in the village. They're like the old age posh and becks of the village. Everybody thinks it's like some sort of romantic story. Oh, they've both lost their halves and they've fallen in love. That's not what it is. It's status. This is what she does with men. She homogeny, that's the word. She wants a partner who is of higher status. She's a homogenist, is that a word? So, it's not love. So this whole bathroom thing, he's called a bluff. I mean, he doesn't know he's calling a bluff. He thinks these are genuine reasons, and he's willing to do anything because he's a slave. If that was the reason, you'd go, hold on, you love us, but you won't live with us because I haven't got a bath. The red flag. And she obviously wants to be in control. She can only be in control in her own house. She's getting used to that. She rules the roost. Everybody flocks around her. She's the maven. So I think, so before I go on to the whole calling his bluff, let's go back. So we don't know for certain yet that she's going to shack up with him. But are you telling me that he's just moving house? And he's just, downsizing? He's just going to stay in the village? Downsize? Well, or maybe he's going to go back to his roots village and she's still going to stay here and they're just going to maintain the relationship over 2 miles. Doesn't make any sense. But what doesn't make any sense is her desperation to tell the beacon something. Well, it's not going to be, just to let you know, the ATM's house is on the market. He's just downsizing. Why would she be desperate to tell us that? Beacon would just say, so what? I don't care. Maybe she wants to say, I'll just let you know his house is on the market, but I'm not going anywhere, so don't get your hopes up. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't put it past her, but she wouldn't be desperate to tell her that because that would be putting the beacon's mind at rest. What she would want is the beacon to get her hopes up when she sees the house on the market, and then she could destroy her hope when she eventually finds out. And she'd want to string her along as long as possible. That's her tactic. That's her life tactic. So hopefully this is what's happening, and now the house went on the market on the 6th of August. That's the date on Rightmove, which ironically, again, no coincidences. I'm not saying they've done it intentionally, but the universe speaks to you in mysterious ways. That's the anniversary of Grandad's death. So while we were having a teary moment in the bar watching the music videos that we used to watch with Grandad when we used to have a drink in our little bar, we were bawling into our beer glasses. And while we were doing that, the husk was planning her new life with her ATM. So, funny how timings work. Now, the 6th of August is pretty much when we got back, maybe the day after we got back from our last holiday. Now, before we went on holiday, so this is around about the 29th, if I remember rightly, 29th of July, that's when I had the confrontation with the husk. That's when I chucked him off my drive, had a confrontation with him, had a confrontation with the husk, and she expressed a desire to stick a knife in us. Now, so you might say, have I triggered something by doing that? Have I triggered something? But from that moment, 29th of July to the 6th of August, a week or whatever. I don't think in that week you make a big, massive decision. Right, that's it. Do you want to move in with us? Yeah, go on then. All right, estate agent, round, valued, on the market. This has been in the planning. And don't get me wrong, that event might have hurried it up, pushed them over the edge where she had no comeback. How are you, Husk man? You said you might move in with us if we get our own place, or you've give us that impression, and how are you? I'll do it for you because I'm your white knight and I need to save you, and you're a martyr victim and you need to be saved, and how are you? Let's get you away from the boogeyman. You can't go back there. I'm not welcome there. What sort of life is that? And she's got no comeback from that. If she says no, I'm still not willing to move in with you. How many red flags can she give before he realises that it's not real? So, like, if she says no, I still want to live there. I like the abuse. I like being treated like dirt. Obviously, this is their story. It's fine that you're not allowed to come here. It doesn't make any sense. And I believe that when she says, I don't want a bathroom, I need a bath in the house, and he goes bathroom shopping, the next thing will be, I don't like the furniture. Well, he'll go furniture shopping. How many superficial things does it take before he realises that this is not about the superficial things, it's about me, this is not real? But anyway, eventually, and then it was, because she told us once that he's still got his dead wife's clothes in his wardrobe, and so the next thing will be, you haven't even got the clothes out of the wardrobe yet. He's getting rid of them. I know that he's done that from back in the day. So what he's doing, he's laying foundations as much as he can, because he wants to rescue her, and because he's such an insecure person that he needs to feel worthy by rescuing damsels in distress, and she's so insecure that she always plays the victim. That everything is victimhood for her. They're a perfect match in that sense. That's the match that they are. So anyway, he's cleared out the wardrobe, and these things will have gone on for months and months and months, and eventually it'll have gotten to ATM. I really, want to live with you. I'm happy to live with you, but I just couldn't live in a dead woman's house. Obviously she wouldn't put it like that, but she thinks that's the final straw. It's the final calling of the bluff, just like she called the bluff of stepdad by getting pregnant. You can't leave us now, I'm pregnant. Hi, that didn't work. Just like she called the bluff of the knob father by having a couple of kids and then treating them like dirt because the real Husk came out, calling his bluff. You'll not leave us now. He's got 2 kids. Who does that? He called your bluff, didn't he, Husk? And now she's doing that. You'll not sell the house. He's selling the house, Husk. So I think. So I also think this was inevitable. And it's probably been agreed upon a while ago. Like I say, you don't just do all of that in 1 week. You plan it out. They must have a grand plan. You don't create a grand plan in a week. And I wonder if this is part of a resentment, just in general, because she's getting herself in too deep. And by too deep, I mean she's getting herself into a situation that she can't get out of because she's been clingy with him. She wants him, she wants the attention, she wants all the status, but she doesn't want to move out. She doesn't want to live with him because she just wants the status. Just like when she begged the knob father to stay. Who the hell does that? What, a fake relationship, but the status looks real? I think that could be why there's a lot of this resentment that's just been floating about still. Why she's still treating us, the Beacon, like dirt, because it's her resentment coming out. She can't show him it. And she's created this toxic environment which has triggered me to have, to react the way I have. And that has, the consequences have spiralled to a place where she now has created an environment which she can't stay. She can't stay. And what that means is she's moving in with him. But, and this is the but, it's not because she loves him and he loves her. It's not for good reasons. That's what somebody with self-love would do. They'd be in a genuine relationship and we love each other. It's the latter part of our life, but let's do it. Let's just live the rest of our lives like as if we're going to live forever, and let's just do it. And we love each other, and wow, I can't believe I live with you, and we've got this lovely new house together, and wow, thank you, and and the feelings mutual. That's what you would do if you had self-love and whatever, and you love somebody for who they are, not because of what they can provide for you. That's what that would look like. But for her, because she's self-loathing, I've explained this, hates herself. That's why she hates everybody around her. Nobody who hates himself can love anybody else. So where was I? So that's what it would be if it was based on love. But it's not. It's based on status and control, and she's losing control. So what she does is, and this is all subconscious, she's created a toxic environment where she leaves and she tells herself the lie, because obviously she lies to herself all of the time, lies to everybody else, but lies to her, she lies to herself. It's the only way she can maintain the husk. She's telling herself that she had no choice to go. In other words, she is a victim and a martyr. And it's no coincidence that she's created a situation which gives her that basis to move out. So she can tell herself, I don't like it here, I'm not happy here. She's not going to say that to him, obviously, but she'll be saying to herself, I don't like it, I'm not happy. But I had no choice. That's what children do. They make excuses and never take responsibility for their own decisions in life and how they've ended up where they are. And if they've gotten themselves into a pickle, they'll just stick at it because they're children. And they haven't matured yet. And this is what she's done. She's created that environment. And I believe that she's done that on purpose. Subconsciously, but it's still on purpose. It's her brain working exactly how it should do, because she's got a victim mentality. She's now a victim. She's created this situation. She's a victim and he's saving her. And this is not good in terms of if he's got anything about him, he's going to realise he's made a mistake, but each to their own. But she's also willing to do it. She wants the environment where she can tell herself she's a victim, so she doesn't have to own up, admit to herself that the other reason that, the real reason that she's doing it is she's willing to do anything to trap him. When she's got that house, she's going to have a name on the deeds, on the whatever. Is she going to, because he's stupid enough to do that, I'll give you half, man. So she's potentially stealing his kid's inheritance as well. But, let's one step at a time. If that's true, that she's just willing to do anything to trap somebody, then once that trap, and he will be, once he lives with her, what's he going to do? Chuck her out. She's got nowhere to go. he's stuck with her. Maybe the real husk will come out, and maybe he'll end up seeing what a shell she is, just like Grandad saw. Well, he wasn't aware. But you know what I mean. She treated him like that. He just didn't know any different. But obviously the knob father saw straight through it and thought, I'm not putting up with that. Not putting up with that. But either way, she's a nasty, nasty person. Is that nastiness going to come out now? She's trapped him.